What's the best piece of advice your dad has given you lately? You're at the top of your game in terms of where you've ever been in the past. There's obviously a lot of room for you to grow, if you want to grow. You've sold out Madison Square Garden 5 times. You've got a massive tour that's about to happen here, I think next month, all over. And what is the best thing that your dad has said to you with all the success that you have at almost 51 years of age now?
I guess the advice is never to rest on your success. So, and then, my mom is going to watch this too. My mom is always, never talk about me. Right? She's always wondering, how come she's not in the act? How come you don't talk about me on podcasts or whatnot? But I love my mother to death. And she's also a huge part of kind of giving me advice. Everybody goes to my dad because my dad, I always talk about him, but also my mom, my mom is my muse. My mom is someone, if I could get dying laughing, I'm like, I'll use that on stage.
That works then.
That works. My mom is a good gauge of kind of what's funny. And when I call her and we get on a roll, there's nothing better than making my mother laugh. Other than my own family, when I get my mother going, it's like, because my mom and my dad are divorced. And my mom is living in California near my sister, and she lives alone.
Yeah.
And I never thought my parents would have gotten divorced. Grew up in a family where laughing, and now they're not together. So for me, to make my mom laugh, not that my mom goes out more than I do. She's got friends. She's at a jazz night here. She's having a glass of wine here. But I feel with my mother, if I can make her laugh, that it's just, I don't know, it's selfishly, it's a good feeling for me because, I never would have thought my mother would be living alone at 78 years old. I thought my parents were going to grow old together and die together. I never thought I'd call my mom and then have to call my dad. I always thought it was going to be, Ma, put Dad on.
Right.
And it's not that way. And yeah, they got divorced later on in life. So for me, it was, some kids witness divorce early on. Maybe they don't know what's going on. Why is that mommy and dad? But when you have like a full 35 years to like they're together, and now you got kids yourself, and
they're not coming to see your kids together.
No,
they're separately coming.
It's separate, and it's like it's a tough pill to swallow, just because I never perceived it going that way. And they still talk, but they're still in communication. But it's just like Christmas is not with the both of them. So providing laughter to her, for me is gold. And same thing with my kids and my wife too.
Sure. What's the thing you love about your mom the most?
My mom, it's just always there.
Really?
It never like, always there. Mom's always going to pick up the phone. Yeah. Always. So for me, I told myself I wasn't going to get emotional, but I think this is appropriate, and especially now that my parents are getting up in age. You think they're always going to be there, and sometimes you take it for granted. And I always try to make that a point in my head, like, my mom always says, I said, "Ma, I got to call you back." She goes, "Yeah, right." Because sometimes I don't call her back. And I should be more mindful of that. But yeah, my mom is It's gold.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
If you could, your parents are 70.
78, 77.
So let's do a hypothetical question here. If you could fast forward, call it 30 years, and you're 81, 81, and you continue to accomplish every dream that you have imaginable in your personal career, but also in your personal life. You see your kids grow up the way you want to. You're there, you're loving, all these things happen in your life. And hypothetically, if you could be your 80-year-old self for a second, or see him having a conversation with you, and he could know exactly what you're about to go through the next 30 years, and he can give you 3 pieces of advice for you today, what do you think your 80-year-old self would say to you today about how to live the next 30 years of your life?
Wow. My 80-year-old self would tell me, no, first and foremost, stop worrying so much. Just take each day as a blessing. Don't worry about what you cannot see in the future, because I'm always worried about what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
What if this happens? What if that happens? Don't worry. Also, we would say, don't work so much.
Really?
Don't kill yourself working this much. Spend time with your family. My dad has often said he worked too much. For what? You know, like, for what? You know, like, he missed a lot of the childhood memories, you know. So he'd probably tell me to relax with the work, which I've often said, you know, after this tour, maybe I just go and do casinos or Las Vegas, you know, maybe pull back a little bit. This is a big undertaking, this tour for me. It's a lot.